Welcome to TradingPub.com's morning report. Real quick before we get started, give you a standard risk disclaimer. As you know, when you start talking about futures and options products, there is substantial risk involved. We're not making any kind of recommendations here, just kind of going over some thoughts over some of the different markets that we watch throughout the week. All right, good morning everyone, and we appreciate you tuning in to Trading Pub's daily video. Basically looking at the S&P right now, we've got the S&P at 1455. Here's just a daily chart from October the 5th, October the 4th. And as you can see, we came down, we had lots of support at 1420. We talked about that level in previous days' videos about how that 1420 area was big. We also talked about another big area, 1430 to 33. You saw that area held yesterday. We came down to a low just under 34. You saw the market bounce, and we're up here at 55. Now the next question is, where do we go from here? We're looking at some resistance up here. If we can get the S&Ps above 55, we're looking at some resistance at the 1462 area and then up at 1469. We will now have some support at 1445, which actually you see is right around the low of the day. Today 1445 is going to be a big area to watch for support. We already bounced off that area earlier and came higher. We've seen some good earnings come out. They're moving the markets higher as well as just overall buying. Now, one thing that's interesting, we talked about this yesterday. Remember, we talked about the bond market. And take a look at the bond market. Yesterday we talked about how that 147.10 was a big area that you could see on the daily chart. And it's very clear here. We had several days here where we came down to the 147.10 area and bounced. We rallied all the way up, came up above 150, started to come down, and we talked about this, I believe it was yesterday, about that 147.10 area being big if we got down there. And you look, the market absolutely took that out. So that's a very positive thing for the bulls. Another chart I'd like to focus on, if you look at the Australian dollar. Australian dollar tends to do well when the market does well. A lot of people feel like Australia has kind of avoided a lot of the debt problems that we've seen in Europe and even in the US and that Japan has facing. So again, with a positive market, that's very bullish for the Australian dollar as well, so we'll keep a close eye on that. And you see it's currently at 103.19. It broke out of that consolidation range. Next big resistance area on the Australian dollar is going to be the 104 area. Two more charts we want to focus on are gold and Apple. Yesterday we talked about gold and how if it could get back to this 172, 171 area that we'd expect it to test the highs. Remember, we had a lot of resistance on the gold chart at 174, 175 from the 52-week high. Looking at Apple, you saw Apple hold that big area that we had talked about, and now it's starting to go higher. It's at 647 right now. You know, this stock, the hard thing with a stock like Apple, and we'll just kind of zoom in here. The hard thing with a stock like Apple is, it can move 10 to 12 bucks either way. So what we feel like is a good way to play Apple right now is any type of option spread, whether it be a credit spread or debit spread. But there's a lot of volatility in Apple. If you buy outright puts or calls, it's going to be very expensive, and so we typically look at debit or credit spreads to try to play this. So again, in any credit trade, you'd want to be very careful selling anything naked with such a big stock like this. If it has a big down day, you could be kind of left holding the bag. So something important to look at, again, credit spread being where you sell one option and then buy another option to cover it, giving you a net credit. Debit spread being you buy an option, sell a higher option on the call side, or you buy a put and sell a lower put on the call side. Basically what you're doing there, you're capping your gain, but you're lowering your risk a bit. I wanted to remind you we've got a big event today featuring professional options trader Steve Place. He's going to be covering 5 option trades for the right now. You can actually register. This is a free event. You can register by going to tradingpub.com/events and clicking on the register here button. He's going to show us 5 trades in the different markets: gold, oil, SPX, RUT, and the VIX. So again, those are going to be 5 different markets he highlights, and basically he's just going to share with you trades that he's looking at right now that he's taken and give you some of his analysis as far as that trade goes. So again, we hope to see you there. It's a live event today. It's free at 4:30 Eastern. All you have to do, go to tradingpub.com/events, click the register here button. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll be back for the next video tomorrow morning.